Hello everyone and welcome to another Minecraft Redstone tutorial. My name is Glitch. Today we're going to be looking at making an expandable, automatic pumpkin and melon farm for you to use in your worlds, and I brought you into my own survival world to demonstrate how the build works. Now recently I've been growing a lot of pumpkins because I like to use them in jack-o'-lanterns for builds where the light source, I need to light things up, and also the light source is going to be hidden. Another reason that I've been growing a lot of pumpkins is because of the fact that I have a local village that has three farmers, and all three of them have a decent pumpkin trade. Now, originally what I did was I converted about half of my farmstead into a pumpkin patch. And while that was efficient, it still meant that I had to come out and harvest them. And since I'm also trying to work towards the Master Trader achievement, where you need to trade for 3,000 emeralds, I decided it would be a good idea to have an automatic system where you didn't have to have player interaction to gather the resources. So this farm works on the same principle as my concrete maker in the fact that it works off of the scaffolding changing state whenever a pumpkin grows. Now, unlike a regular block, when the pistons fire, the the pumpkin or the melon will not be pushed forward. Instead, it will break and can be collected by the hoppers. Now, I have tested this design and it works in both Bedrock and Java. Another advantage that you can also see with this is if you ever decide that you want to change out what you are going to be harvesting, all you need to do is break out the scaffolding, uh, take out the stalk, replant, replace the scaffolding, and then you're all set. So now that we've gone ahead and looked at the concept of how the pumpkin farm works, and of course I was expecting it to actually grow one while we were standing here, but that didn't happen. But we'll look at that when we get into the creative world. So we've looked at the concept. Let's move over to a creative world and dive into the build. For each module, you will need the following supplies. About a half a stack of structure blocks, half a stack of glass, 4 blocks of either grass blocks or you can use dirt. It will be tilled into farmland before we're done. 2 water buckets, 2 regular pistons, 2 observers, 2 redstone dust, 6 scaffolding blocks, a hoe, and of course you will need either your pumpkin or melon seeds depending on which you choose to start with. For collection, the basic 1 module, which would be just fine for a single player survival world, you will need 4 hoppers as well. If you plan to expand the build, you may want to consider having a minecart with hopper and rail, as well as powered rail and something to power the powered rail into your plans. These are not exact amounts. You will have to base that on how large or small you decide to expand. I'll show you a couple of ideas before we're done with the video. You will also need an area for each module that is 6 blocks wide by 5 blocks deep. So to start things out, we're going to go ahead and place a chest right here. You can make the center to a double chest if you want. For now, we're just going to go with the one. And then you want to crouch place a hopper into the back of that chest. And then go ahead and place 2 more hoppers running into first hopper, and then come to the other side and place 1 more. After that, we're going to go ahead and place a dirt block behind each one of the hoppers. Then we need to place 2 structure blocks behind the center 2 grass blocks. And then we're going to come on the front here and we're going to put down our pistons so that they are facing the grass blocks. Come around back. I'm going to place our observers so that the face is facing the same direction as the pistons. Then we want to place a structure block on the back of each piston. Now we'll put redstone dust on those two structure blocks. And we need to fill in the rest of this area with structure blocks. Go ahead and you want to leave this spot blank. That will give us a spot for our water when we get there. So just come around the back. And you can leave these two blank if you want. Next, we're going to come around front and take our water bucket and place them into each one of the reservoirs. And to be honest, I like to cover those over. Break that out. Okay. And next, take out your hoe and your seeds. And I also brought a little bit of bone meal just to speed things up. And you want to till the ground on either side of the pistons. This will turn into farmland right next to your water. Plant your seeds. Then just to speed things up, I'm going to go ahead and bone meal those. Then you want to place your structure blocks so that you have one structure block on each side of your stalk. Next up, you want to take your scaffolding and you want to place it on top of the block and then build out from there. This will cover the face of both observers. And also, since we're coming out the full 6 scaffolding blocks, this will make it so that no matter what, whenever you start your next module, you will not run into the problem where you extend the scaffolding past where it can be built out, and then it becomes a block that's affected by gravity. And then last, we just need to fill all this in with glass. Oops. And of course, because glass is a transparent block, we still have access to our chest. And that is our first module all set up. Now, like I said at the start of the video, I use a single module in my single player world, and it is built in my spawn chunks. So for my purposes, that's enough, because since those chunks are, technically speaking, always loaded, no matter, as long as I'm near my base, I'm still collecting pumpkins. If you're on a server or a realm, you may want to have more for trading or also for more extensive builds. So just to give a couple of ideas, I came up with a couple of designs to show how you can expand the build. Now, bear in mind, these are in no way perfect, but I want to show them as suggestions of ways you can customize this build to fit your needs as you use it in your survival worlds. Now, though I'm not huge on using automatic farms, one of the things I tend to think about when I am building them is assessing the needs that I have at the time. So think of it this way. With the farm, you have 3 options. You have the small, which is our basic 1 module design, which is a good starter or something that you can build near a village or a village that you want to base out of, or also if you just find a village that has a decent trade and you want to take advantage of that. If that proves to be not enough, you can also do the medium, which basically is just chaining 2 of the farms together and putting a minecart with hopper under them. Now this will make the build 2 blocks taller, but it is pretty much lossless. And if you wanted to, you could continue this farm for as far as you want. You would just need to remember that if the minecart leaves the loaded chunks, it will stop and it will not move again until those chunks are loaded. Now, if you really want to go crazy and get all the pumpkins or all the melons, you can go ahead with the large. What we have here is 4 of the farms chained together facing one another with the same minecart hopper. Now, this will give you 4 times the pumpkins or melons, and it will also be lossless because of the fact that we have the minecart with hopper. Now, one thing, if you do go with this design, because there are spaces in there that are large enough for a spider to spawn, I would recommend lighting up the underside just to keep the mobs from spawning down there and gumming up the works. But again, these are just some ideas for expanding off the single module design and ways that you can get pumpkins or melons for trading or food, even food, in your survival worlds. I hope you found this build useful. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like, and also consider subscribing if you want to see more content like this. My name is Glitch, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.